girls. You know what I'm saying? Not like not underage, but they like it. I consider 18-year-old women a girls. Hey, Riley, go on now.
It could be anything.
Like about they ain't mad like them little girls. I don't mean like 12-year-olds. I don't mean like 13-year-olds. I'm a grown ass woman.
You never know what people mean.
Get You just don't like Trump. Hey, Riley.
I don't like anybody, any side. I don't like left or right. I don't like any president.
What about Obama?
Didn't like him either.
Why not? Cause he's black. You racist son of a bitch.
Ain't got nothing to do.
I feel like it does, Brian.
He didn't do a single thing for anybody. Everybody thinks he's perfect, and they don't even do any actual knowledge of him. Didn't I tell you about that? He wanted to, he was going to pass a law on carbon emissions. And underneath that law, it would end up adding about $1,600 more in taxes to every household. So you would have been paying $1,600 more in taxes because of the simple fact that you breathe carbon dioxide. And then when you look into the thing of the bill, it was a tax on basically all carbon dioxide. Anything that involves emitting CO2, which is basically everything in your household, the fact that you breathe. There's like a whole entire thing about it. And how it would increase, like if it was a 6-household family, they would probably have a higher tax because of it, because they will emit more CO2 off. In the end, it's all the hype to get more money from Americans. Who was passing that law and promoting it? Obama. Trump, same thing. He's just trying to get money for the rich. Both sides, left and right, only want to make money for the rich. And they confuse and make their people follow their own networks that it's for the middle class, when in reality, we're the ones giving them all money. And so if we found a way to make things equal, there's no more them having more money. And it's not like these people on top even remotely created what they had. All they did was create our system of money. So they didn't create our technology. They gave these people the money they needed to make technology.
I think I forgot to buy fucking. I keep forgetting to buy fucking potions.
This wound looks bad.
It's not like they imagine. It's like, that's what I mean when you look at the TV and I watch TV. When I was a kid, they would tell all like the baby boomers and stuff how horrible they are. They don't do nothing really, And then you watch their rallies and they're like, oh, peace, you know. I mean, of course, there are other different groups of that generation that were fine, because there was several different sections of, just like there always is, of a generation creating their groups. Some are advanced, like far right, and some are far left, right? Think about it. So as time keeps progressing, every time a left president and a right president takes in charge, they only want to give promises to one side, creating more hatred on the other side, increasing the radicalism. So on both sides, radicalized groups are increasing and are becoming more violent with each other and towards the people. And then you get some groups that don't actually have any violence to them. They can't understand how these people who are in our age group somehow have the fucking time to go to a program and still have money and move on with their life. You know, like, I don't have time to do some shit.
Right?
Because if I take a day off and it's not an approved day off, like I get all these people trying to hide their face. That's their way of trying to do things, but I've seen so many lose their jobs after being hot protesting. And then they end up...
How do you lose your job for protesting?
Well, because they make a lie and say, like, oh, I was off from work. Or, well, they call in from work to go to these freaking meetings. There's a lot of people that I see go to a lot of these protests around. That just makes me think, like, what do they do? Because I don't have time to necessarily go to those things.
Yeah.
So they obviously either have to call in for work or not have a job, or it's their off day, but they all organize together. But I just can't imagine that many people would go. And then to be very violent, I've watched a lot of the protests, and there's like always several different sections of people in the protests. And some are violent from both sides, and some are peaceful. It's just like, no one's understanding the message. They're just going to destroy the city. Same thing with people, right? With football games and shit. There's always a group of people that just want to destroy. No, but like, what I see in history is every time a generation is born, and that generation is somewhat coming into power when they're trying to change things, they get labeled as an issue, right, by the older generation. And then that younger generation, as they grow, start to fight within each other because of the ideals they were taught from the previous generation. So some will carry on the same party ideals from the right and the left, and others will have a mixed view.
Are you kidding me? Return to base immediately.
Roger that.
And then it ends up creating the same cycle. You know, the majority still red and blue, and the people who are in the middle or don't vote, there's something wrong with them. Like, they'll always tell you never vote third party or other party interests or whatever. Only vote red or blue. Right?
I don't see why.
Right, I don't understand why. Why wouldn't you want to? But everybody, when you hear people talk, all they have to say is, oh, this is pointless vote. Don't vote for the third party. You're wasting your vote. And I'm like, that's what they want you to do. To waste your time with fighting each other. Continuing this red versus blue stupid shit. And then, like I said, every time there's change, they start to label the groups that are trying to stop that shit until it gets to a point where, like, no one cares about them anymore. Because there's always certain people in each generation that when you talk to them, they don't give a shit about right or left. Yeah. They think all the presidents have been for rich people.
What the hell was that?
Not for the poor
Ash
people.
density doesn't spike like that normally.
Riley?
Because I just don't understand why people would vote for any person that has not been from the middle class.
We're looking into it.
You know what I mean? I would vote for someone like you. A person who has to work a job.
Right.
And has to go through and feel like what it is to waste their time in a 9 to 5 because they don't have the funds or the necessarily money as other people do to go to college. Because that's the thing. Like, I feel like
ash storm springing up out of nowhere.
that's mainly middle class.
The
Middle
crimson
class
queen and ash
everyday
storms.
average working
I don't like
American
this.
working a 9 to 5 job.
Sorry for the interruption.
Or
but I
is
have Inkai on the radio.
underpaid.
Damn.
Salary
Why are you all
job.
up in the mix, man?
Anything over $100,000
Stay.
a year is what?
Lay down.
A salary job starts to get you more income.
Yeah.
So you're not pretty much middle class on a salary job.
Yeah.
You're starting to move up. Probably at the high tier of it.
Yeah.
But in the end, they think that they're affected by anything that happens with a tax on the richer class. But they're not. Corporate greed creates
They must be
it.
pretty close then. Can you record it?
Sorry, the signal has noise that prevents recording.
But
I thought
did
so.
you notice, like when you watch history in class, when things start to change, people start getting killed, assassinations, and then the new generation comes, then comes our
Dr.
generation.
Inukai, you made this
All of a
request.
sudden, everybody
Do you have
from
some business in
1980s
Ash
and
this dense?
2Ks are
I've come to
millennials
take care of
and
the
they're
pawns
stupid,
of the
they're
Crimson
violent,
Queen.
they kill
In
people.
other words, you.
We're the problem. We're making everything go to hell. That's what it is. Like we sit here and
What
play
makes you
video
think-
games.
The ash storm
The older
near the place
generation
you
is
were
saying we're
operating,
rotting.
the disappearance of the target.
It's gonna end.
Connecting you to the Crimson Queen is
I was reading a
simple
girl's
enough,
post and
isn't
she
it?
was talking about killing all of
People
the
of
old
Glypnir
people,
aren't
right?
likely to swallow that.
And I
one.
was like, what the fuck? Like, you know, you can't just kill all the old people because they're teaching young people
rules
to
and
be
treat you
them.
like pets.
So, I mean, the people in power, right? So if you kill the generation that's still on top,
Mm-hmm.
because you know what I think? I think the person who leads all of everybody is obviously the oldest person.
Yeah.
And they play behind the scenes. Just because they're not a president anymore doesn't mean they don't play the role like it's going. And there are people on that high top 1% that have most of the money. And so they're always going to want to have the
If
same.
you were with any other caravan, they'd keep you locked up in the hold.
But yeah, they start spewing out all this millennial hatred, trying to convince us to hate each other at the
Ignoring
same time.
rules disrupts the
same
system,
cycle
which
that
will
they did with
impact
the
our
boomers,
great mission of
Like
reclamation.
calling them hippies.
Not only that, but I
So that we
suspected you
follow
might
the
have some
same
contrary
footsteps. We
plan
start
of your
believing in
own.
only red versus blue.
One that had to do
And
with Hilda's connection
continue
to the
to hate each
Crimson
other.
Queen.
Except it's getting worse. Haven't you noticed that, like, remember when you were a kid, you watched, like, president shit on TV, and all you hear him talk about is what he will offer to the people.
Yeah.
Now, you get to listen to them talk shit about each other, like they're roasting each other on their presidential debates. And they go dig up their past and bring up bullshit about their past to make them look bad.
I'm like, you know what? I have no regrets. I did those things.
There are no more what can you offer for the
What's
people.
that supposed to
It's
mean?
what did you do in your past? I'm gonna find out how fucking horrible you are.
I thought that your relationship with Werner, Crimson Queen's leader, was publicly known.
So I feel like for 200 years now, we've been repeating this same cycle of these political parties
Hilda,
back and
is that
forth.
true?
It was a long time ago.
Now then, let's get down to business.
Almost farted.
Hand over the humanoid origami you've been keeping. If you refuse, an ash storm will take your sad little
It's
vessel.
gonna get worse. There's
Ash storm?
gonna be more violence, more riots,
Control ash storms?
because we're getting closer to all being 25. And when every
I've
one
heard
of that
rumors that the
millennial
Crimson
group
Queen
is
has technology that
25,
can set off ash storms.
they can start
That means
voting and
Inukai is
changing
the traitor.
things
How
and
astute.
getting into office and voting
What do you
out
plan to do
that
with Fiend?
generation.
Sell her to the Crimson Queen, obviously. They're my most
Except I
valuable
hate the
client,
fact
you
that
see.
they keep
All
telling you
this for
videos
money?
of that one
For my research,
girl
my
who's like
current
around our
budget is
age, she's
meager.
a
The Gleipnir
senator.
fools have no appreciation.
You have no right to.
We're done talking.
I don't understand.
You're currently surrounded by origami that I've driven there with ash storms. Don't even try to escape.
She's a-
Got that? Make
She
the
doesn't
delivery
lack very good
tomorrow morning when the storm is settled.
She always confuses.
I'm sure you'd like to take some time to say farewell to the humanoid origami anyway.
The call has been cut off. Inukai is right. We appear to be surrounded by origami.
Well, he isn't bluffing.
But
We won't let him have Fiend.
it doesn't
We'll
matter.
break
now.
through the origami.
Right. We'll tear open a
I
hole.
don't feel like
Dr. Inukai has his eyes on us. It'll be a real race. Are you
You
ready?
think there's gonna be more riots and shit, harsher violence?
I feel like there's always riots, no matter what time frame of you live in.
I
Fun
don't see them
time.
as much. It's just when people say they're just not being recorded anymore, but there's been like an increase of white supremacist riots and this other group that enact the people. And when I was reading what they want to pretty much have complete total control, with the younger generations being in charge. And they want the older generations pretty much out of the way. But the groups within these groups, they consist of anarchists and narcissists and people that want to start, that want pretty much chaos in the world.
Oh, wow.
And so a lot of them, like, you go watch a lot of videos of regular normal protests that people start to have a peaceful protest, and all of a sudden here come these NAFTA people. If they deem you highly racist or something, or your group not great people, they come and they disturb your protest by being violent towards you, by beating you. And I was like, what the fuck? I was watching a video of a journalist who was trying to get info about them, and then he's Asian, and they attacked him, beat him up so bad that he ended up in the hospital.
Wow. Did he sue?
I'm not sure. Oh no, I don't think he did, because they had masks on. All of the NAFTA people have masks on. They look like a group of people like from. You ever watch Mad Max?
No.
You should watch it. It's like an old.
Oh yeah, you know what? I have seen.
Yeah, they have masks on like that. It's almost like purge people. They're like NAFTA is pretty much like a modern day purge. People purging. But then there's the KKK. They've been dropping and recruiting, increasing and rising with their members. And there have been reports of people like a modern day dude. This dude, they dragged him from a car until his body parts were all over the pavement.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
It was these three guys, and they were trying to start a race war. So this fucking shit's getting more violent, and I'm like...
That's craziness.
But then the Chuck thing, I was saying about being Chuck, that guy was weird. Like, he was, like, bald. I thought he was a police officer at first. I could not understand why he was, like, acting like that. Dude really felt fucking threatened by two dudes that don't look like him.
Yeah.
I was putting groceries away.
Nah, I think he's just racist.
Well, I mean, of course he is. But he's racist with a gun, and that's the problem.
Yeah. That is sad, though. That people are like that.
There's a lot of people that are dangerous out there. I think I know another guy I work with who might be an NAFTA person. He seems really cool. Plays out that cool demeanor, but then, he's also very anti-Trump and anti-old people.
Oh, okay.
So, like, if you start talking, I was, like, having conversations with people, like, they're a couple years younger than me and you, and some of them, like, their conversations can lead into deafness, like, in depth about taking over the country and wanting complete anarchy and destruction. Like, I've heard this from Cameron. I've heard this from a coworker. I've heard it from some girl on my other friend's Facebook. She was commenting about it. And that same ideal is the same exact thing that NAFTA is like based off of.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, that's a little bit of a like, it's kind of odd. How many people are a part of that community? And it's an organization that concentrates and works underground through messaging, online messaging, right?
Okay.
So they said they have over thousands of members, and they're able to orchestrate and come together at rallies, and they get tipped off about other people's protests, and they disturb those protests. It's like a select group. And I saw a post saying that they were also in Germany, and that what NAFTA really is just another version of fascism. But they say that they're against fascists. Why aren't you charging it?
Try it on another device.
Yeah, but I was just looking at that stuff. 'Cause, like, there's all these different select groups of people being created. Like, there's the QAnon followers who are starting violence, and then there's the black people who are starting violence. And then all of the core itself, saying all of our generation are violent. You seem very violent to me.
Yeah, I know. I'm a violent person, you know. Hey, I'm gonna
Fuck the world up.
You gonna try another port?
Now I get paid on Friday. I think it'd be cool if we went and like got the pizza. Or I can get you something from Cook Food. I have a food card, but I don't have.
You wanna get pizza?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can get pizza. Where we gonna get it from?
I don't know. You can choose.
I don't really care where.
I was thinking we just go to Costco and get an 18-inch for ourselves.
You could call them and order it, and then pick it up.
My phone's dead. I don't know what to do.
I got a phone.
Let's get a sausage pepperoni too. Wait, what kind of pizza do you eat?
It doesn't matter.
Do you eat combination?
Yeah. I eat any pizza without mushrooms on it.
Oh, alright.
I'm looking for more drive. But it looks like I'm gonna have to fight this guy anyway before I can do that. $35 missions, huh? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? You ain't doing nothing. You ain't tough. You ain't tough. Why you didn't like you tough? Oh, you barking now? You barking? You fighting? Oh, you talking to Ryan? You saying I'm a big boy? I love it. Oh, get him, boy. You angry? You angry at her, baby? Look who she's at, baby. Look who she's at, baby. I'm putting her, baby. Oh, you getting jealous now? Oh, you getting jealous now? Oh, you getting jealous? Oh, you getting jealous now? Oh, you getting jealous now?
Hi, can I order a pizza? What pizza? Sausage pepperoni. Brian? Yeah. Alright, thank you. 20 minutes. You go pick it up. You go just wait what time is it? But there's still samples. What time is it?
Yeah.
I cannot read your time. It just says 23.
6:53.
Oh, that's what time. The samples are probably gone.
Yeah. We'll go in like 10 minutes or something to go pick it up. About 15, because it takes like 6 minutes to get it. I'm gonna start this mission with this hot chick here. Pick her up. Take her out for dinner. Let her know I'm her
Well,
daddy.
like, you know how like everything is you're taxed for it? We have to have a fucking registration for it now. We have to have a registration to fish.
We've been there to have
I
a...
know, but like, look, think about this: to fish, to collect water, to create new energy, to own a pet,
Yeah, I know, right?
to own property.
That shit's so dumb, it's not even funny.
Registrations. I was telling a friend, and he kind of likes my idea. It's not necessarily restriction on guns. It's more of like, you do not need to register your gun with anybody. But you will be fined if you carry a weapon outside of your home without a reasonable, without a good reason why you have your weapon outside of your home. And I feel like the law should be, since our weapons are supposed to be for protection from others, but as well as from the government, should be locked up at home, unless you're using it for your job, you're using it for training, or you're using it to go to work. Yes, I think that's it. And to offset the people saying, oh, we need our guns, what if the world on us, what if something bad, what if there's a crisis? I would say that what the government should do is set up stations that only authorize personnel who have to take thorough testing to be this authorized person, right? Someone who's not going to just unlock the keys to everybody for no reason. Someone who will have a key to a station where there'll be guns there. So let's say if someone invades our country, they'll unlock the keys, and you guys and people can grab weapons if they want to defend themselves.
Right.
That will offset these people saying we need guns to protect ourselves from people that do things. No, there will be a place for that.
Yeah.
You leave your registered weapon at home unless it's the time of war. Then you can go home, take your gun out. Because I feel like the majority of shootings are happening because people are acting scared with a gun.
Right.
They're too paranoid and too fragile to have a weapon. And so if we didn't restrict the guns and restrict people from buying them, instead restricted the movement of the weapon, that would be a lot better because less people would be getting shot. And the ones who end up getting caught will be the actual criminals who can't keep them, and not stop making crime, People who are going to randomly rob someone for no reason.
Right.
That person obviously is going to get caught up. And he'll give a false reason to having the weapon because he won't read the new law, and he'll get arrested, right?
Right.
So then all the people who were creating the actual crimes will end up getting picked up, leaving the people who think that they need a weapon, but to defend themselves without a weapon. They don't need it. I think if you take a test for a weapon and own a weapon, when you take the test, your intent for that weapon should be for protection. And if there's any signs that you're not using it for protection and to hurt other people. And there's obvious signs. I don't understand. You can tell directly with people. They have lie detector tests. They have personality tests. But yes, someone can pass a lie detector test if they physically convince themselves that what they're saying is true.
Headed your way.
They're meant to
30
be.
seconds to operation area. Sending
What?
entry point estimate. Origami arrival imminent. You could be surrounded there. Suggest changing battle
I think
points.
that
Watch your ass.
we're gonna watch an increase in so much
Keep your eyes
violence.
open.
We're basically
There
in
are no
Cold War
enemies
II now.
around.
So while we're sitting here debating, not we're, but people getting mad at each other for voting for Trump or being left or right, they're going to continue to fight each other. While they fight each other, they're going to pass more measures to increase nuclear weapons, to increase our arms. We're also trying, I read online that they're trying to increase the speed of how fast we can create, we can leave this country, trying to colonize it. Because they're also basing things off of Stephen Hawking's. A lot of people are kind of close to believing Stephen Hawking's thing about how we only have pretty much 200 years to live because of the increase in heat. The storm is going crazy.
I know we have more. I think we have more. I think he was paranoid. I'm planning to like a killer.
We will be dead too once he was years from now.
It's pretty simple, you know what I'm saying?
Well, think about this, right? So, did you hear about how Alaska's on fire?
No.
You know Alaska's always been cold, right? Since you were a kid. They're having uncontrollable forest fires.
Uh-huh.
Yes. They hit record time for heat. The last time it was as hot as it is was in 1960 something or 70, and they said it was only like a little over 70. Right now it's so hot that they can't control fires, and the reason why too is all of those, all of the trees out there, right? Mm-hmm. They were wet because the snow was out there. The majority of the time it was cold. So then when it starts to heat up, what do you think happens to the wood? It gets more dry and crisp because it's heating up the whole entire, it's heating the wood.
Yeah.
So it burns better. So it makes it harder for them to
put them on fire.
Yeah. Right? So, and then over in Virginia, they're getting hit with a regular tropical storm and having issues with flooding. It's not even a hurricane. Their storms are getting worse and they're changing the name to severe thunderstorms, severe tropical thunderstorms, severe tropical hurricanes. As we get older, they start changing the names of the weather because the weather's getting stronger.
I mean the condition.
Well, yeah. Right, well, because they're getting stronger, right? You're going to not feel the effects here. Here's a good thing about, Minnesota is technically underneath the biggest volcano in the world. Yellowstone. Is technically I think it's the biggest active volcano in America. Maybe not the world, but for sure that's the world. But basically, it's not ever going to erupt anytime soon. But it said that if it did, it would wipe out probably 70% of the North American continent. Because it takes up takes up parts of Minnesota, North Dakota, South Dakota, I think Montana, Idaho, Colorado. But it's pretty large. And I saw in National Geographic, it shows how big the volcano really is underneath the earth. And it says it goes all the way into the core of our planet. Right? So that's why it's still active. But it's not going to go off. They said that it's not going to explode anytime soon. Some geysers are more active than normal, but it's not going to go off. But that movie 2012 movie. You saw that? Remember watching that movie? It was in Yellowstone Park.
What did when they went down to the core and they get...
No. It was the crazy guy that they were driving up the mountain.
Oh.
They're in like an RV. You never saw the movie 2012 where the world was ending?
No.
It was a pretty interesting movie. But, Virginia Beach, they get hit with, during hurricanes, sometimes 50 to higher foot waves.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking intense. Could you imagine being on the beach when that shit's going on?
No, I'm like, what's up?
I can imagine you start seeing a big ass wave coming, and then I just see you start running.
I'm like, you know what? I ain't not running that way. I'm not even running. I'm running. I'm just be chilling.
Chuck was telling me you in a zombie apocalypse type situation or a post-apocalyptic world, you won't be a person who wants to work together as a team. You're just gonna dip and leave everybody to die.
I would do that. I'll just kind of do my own thing.
Like, you wouldn't necessarily you would, like, just disappear.
Yeah. I wouldn't do anything to anybody else. Go my own way.
You don't have faith in humanity.
No,
Don't worry, you go do your own thing, and then one day you'll start the venture, and you'll find out a group of people.
Those from the
Hang on a second,
chrysanthemum
man.
are the real traitors. Arrest all of them.
This is most unseemly, Inukai. We received the news of your support for the Crimson Queen from your own forked tongue. On this very vessel.
What? What are you doing here, Governor General?
Send Dr. Inukai to Mission HQ.
Let go of me! Hands off! Without me, Gleipnir's technology will fall 20 years behind. Do you want that, Governor General?
Accept your punishment, Inukai.
Let go! Get off of me!
Did we play our role well enough?
You mean you were just trying to sniff out a traitor?
My deepest apologies for endangering you. You will be awarded with appropriate compensation.
So this was all planned out from the moment we left Mission HQ. Come on, Hilda. You gotta tell us this stuff.
I'm sorry for keeping this from all of you. I had to keep the plan a secret to protect the Governor General.
I should have known that Inukai would have never let Feem go free. We had to help out in order to avoid future problems.
You have done us a great service. Your skills are most remarkable. Thank you, Hilda. My escort should arrive soon.
I'm sorry I wasn't able to provide better quarters.
So we can have our
To the contrary, being in a place like this suits me better than a stifling meeting room. Please, take good care of Hilda for me.
I know somebody who would like
We will.
likes to play games.
Who does?
I
Yeah, I
do
meant
understand
this,
that
you went
you
brother
ages
Danny.
have a great burden to bear.
He's almost like my brother Danny, but he's a straight
However, in
version of my
order
brother
that
Danny.
humanity might survive these desolate times, I'm afraid it is
So asked me
unavoidable.
if I could help his
I
friend. get
beg
some
your
shit.
assistance in this.
And so I did. And then yeah, they
I
were
must
pretty cool.
go.
They came hang
Until
out
we
with
meet
us,
again.
me, Chuck, and Dee Dee, smoking.
I'll walk with you.
Wasn't bad. I was trying to tell Chuck to come over, but then he told me that
Can we
he can't
talk
come over
about
here.
Warner at
It's
some
Dee Dee.
point?
Sure.
That sucks.
Let's talk once I get back.
Life.
So what did you say?
So he told us saying that he can't
You
come
and
over
Warner were
here.
students in the
What?
same lab. Is that
Because
it?
he was telling me how Dee Dee's not allowed to come here since he's taking care of baby. He can't like necessarily come.
He can come here. What is he? The baby and him can come here. Dee Dee can't come here. That's a There's a whole difference.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. He probably doesn't want to.
Like if he as long as he leaves Dee Dee back, he's good.
Yes, he was a gifted researcher. Everyone had their eyes on him. He was intelligent, hardworking, and genuine. Those traits attracted
Well,
me.
that sucks. Then
The world was still being ravaged by origami, but for us, I had faith that we'd be side by side like that forever. Until the day came.
The calamity?
That's right. Everything changed on that day. My life. And his, too.
I understand.
I didn't mean to keep this from you.
Everyone has a secret or two. That's only natural. One other thing. What's your relation to the Governor General? It's something I noticed before. You two seem to go a long way back.
That's because Werner is the Governor General's son.
So this is all a father-son quarrel?
Everyone in the area who survived the calamity owes it to the Governor General and Gleipnir. Bet there were many sacrifices as well. That includes the existence of ages. Werner could never accept those sacrifices. He threw himself into the fray to protect the weak who were written off by Gleipnir.
And then he formed the Crimson Queen.
Yes, but I wonder if there wasn't a way to stop him. If I had been braver, like all of you, maybe things could have been different. If I could stand up to the world's despair. Yeah, you're right.
You should listen, Hilda. You really did fight in your own way. Your port is a paradise. And this ship, you've got ages, regular god-eaters, and a mess of kids. Everyone does what they can and helps open the door to a new tomorrow. We might not be related, but we're a family. All of that is here now because you never gave up. You kept fighting.
Thank you. You're both right. We need to look toward the future, not the...
Let's head on home, Hilda. We don't want to get surrounded by origami again.
Right. Let's go home. Everyone to your stations. This vessel is returning to Mission HQ.
How long has it been? 5 minutes?
No. I'm gonna save and then we can go. It's about that time.
Oh. I don't want to be in YouTube. I'm over here.
You too good for my YouTube?
Yeah, but I'm smoking a bowl right now.
You too good? Huh? You too good? Bambi, what we gonna do with you,
I
Bambi?
don't want no paraphernalia.
Get him, Bambi. Oh no! This is your house. You the alpha. You the alpha, Bambi. Get him. Get him. Oh, she used a paw slap on you. She tried to paw slap you, man. She put the paw. She said she gonna put her paw on you, bitch. Get it. Oh, get in there. Get in there. Get in there. Oh, get it. Go on, get it. Oh, get it, Bambi. Bambi got all kinds of asthma and shit. Well, let me see if I can craft a weapon. I might work on my bullets at some point in a gun, but so far it's like whatever. Let me check this avatar card. Let's see.
Right.
She looks cool though. She got a nice little outfit on. Like and subscribe if you like watching my videos. I always appreciate it. Peace out.